Okay, we are back for part two. I'm going to give a little disclaimer here, being real, but this one was really hard. So I'm probably going to refer back to what I wrote and read more than I did on my last one. Because, yeah, I go through stuff too. I'm doing all the steps to work on myself the way that I'm here to help you guys work on yourself. So it's all just kind of part of the story. Um, but yeah, so I'm just gonna give you that. So this part is about the life that I built that looked fine. So my dream as a little girl was to get married and be the perfect wife and have 12 kids and be a perfect mom, stay home with the kids, do the homeschool thing, do the home cooked meals, all the things. And I did get to do that. I built it. I married young. I had my kids. I had a home. I had my faith. Everything looked right from the outside. Unfortunately, somewhere in all of that, I disappeared. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. At 18, I started my dream and I got engaged. And then 6 months later, we got married at 19. And just a few weeks shy of 20, I had my first of 4 kids. I wanted 12, but he wanted one, so he compromised and gave me 4, which is totally fine. 4 is more than enough. It was young love, and it was immature love. We fought a lot, and I thought that was fine, because that's just how relationships are. And he had a lot of his own issues that he was battling and didn't know how. I justified all the red flags because it was my job to eat my emotions, what I learned young, and show the love that would fix the hurt in others. So I just transitioned that into the next family environment that I had. This is when I started to slowly abandon myself completely. There was a time period where I made mistakes and I validated that the treatment I got from that mistake, no matter how excessive, was justifiable. And then, like, after that whole situation of our relationship kind of happened and moved forward, our second one joined us when I was 21. We bought a home and we put it on some land right next to my in-laws, which was awesome. We were always up there. We got to have that family thing, Sunday dinners. My kids would go up there every Friday night, was sleepover at grandma's night, because we had to designate a day or they always wanted to be up there. Then number 3 came along when I was 24. And in that time frame, I found a group of people who would love me the way that I needed to be loved in a religion. And that love was what I was desperately looking for, that it just felt so true to my heart at that time. But that also was not embraced by many people in my life. I was raised Catholic, so this religion was not in line with that, which was okay. I'm not going to dig into anything because I don't think that religion is necessarily bad. I don't think any of the people were bad. It was just a situation in my life, which I removed. And, we'll touch base on that later if that's what we're going to do. Anyways, so then number 4 came along at 25. When I was 25, and our family was complete, and it seemed like a perfect little family to someone observing on the outside. I lived for everyone in my life except myself: a caring mother, a loving wife, a devoted worshiper, but I couldn't see through the fog that I had, and I was slowly starting to shut down. Didn't really realize that it was happening, but that's what my brain was going through. I never questioned it because I just thought that that's what life with 4 kids that are 5.5 years apart from oldest to youngest was like. That's what every mom goes through, right? So at one point, my body, was desperately trying to speak at me. I wound up in the hospital for a week almost getting diagnosed with MS. I had symptoms like drop foot, where I couldn't function my foot at all. My legs and nerves just stopped talking to each other. So that was cool. I would have random moving numbness or tingling. So that sleeping feeling you get, like when your hand falls asleep, if you lay on it or whatever, I would have that just randomly show up in parts of my body and stay for like a week at a time. So that was cool. And then I just would have a lot of issues with not remembering things. And that still kind of comes into today. So like, this was really hard to make because as I'm doing my self-work, my body and mind are ready to process and remember things. So, before recording this, I did a little bit of crying because it was like, holy cow, I need to process that out. So anyways, going through all this, I wasn't diagnosed with MS because everything in there was good. Like I didn't have any of the things that are MS related. And then I was told by two different doctors, one of them at a highly esteemed clinic in the country, was told that it was my imagination and I was just creating symptoms because I wanted attention. So they gave no acknowledgement of how the nervous system works. And I just needed to stuff my shit back in. Like, get over myself. Stop being dramatic. You're making a big deal out of nothing. Stop looking for attention. So that's what I did. I did all the things that you needed to do. I went to therapy. I took meds. I still just kept becoming more and more numb. Because that wasn't what the problem was. But I stuck with everything because that was my responsibility to God, is just going through all of these motions and putting others first. Full disclaimer, I don't want this to sound like I'm bashing religion because I am not, or faith. I still have a very strong faith, but to me, God is a God of love and not punishment. So I needed to ask myself, is what I'm being told aligning with that belief that I have? Anyways, everything happened gradually over 15 years. So I got into this relationship like dating at 17. We ended up getting divorced when I was 32. So there's 15 years of this happening. It's really easy to get sucked into not good situations and not seeing what's happening because it does happen so gradual. So I used to be that 17-year-old who would be like, oh, these people who stay in things that aren't healthy, they're ridiculous. But you don't see it. So don't judge unless you've been there. And then it's just one day you wake up and you realize something is not right here. If you are even lucky enough to be one of those people who wake up and realize that something's off and we need to start figuring out what's going on. So that's the end of part 2. Thanks for sticking around. And if you are any of these things like resonated with you or it's something that you're going through, know that you're not alone. Know that you are loved and know that it'll be okay. All right? Thanks, guys.